TumbleSeed is a new action game coming to the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. Players use analog sticks to control a horizontal plank across the game screen. Using the plank as a balance board, you move around the seed across it as you make your way up a mountain. That's the simple breakdown of the gameplay, but it's not that easy. When you start the adventure mode, you spawn at the bottom of the mountain in a small village. In this village, you can talk to other creatures and homes and get an understanding of the game's story and lore, and yes, there actually is lore in this game. The ground-dwelling creatures are disrupting the harmony between the creatures on the mountain. As the TumbleSeed, your job is to climb to the top of the mountain and plant yourself, restoring harmony to your home. Additionally, you can get side quests in this village that add on to your quest of climbing the mountain. Once you jump over the first wall and escape this village, you're in the meat and potatoes of the video game. You have 3 hearts that act like lives. Every time you die, you lose a heart. Throughout the mountain, you'll find enemies and obstacles for you to destroy or dodge. For example, scattered throughout the field are holes from the soil dwellers. Falling into one of these holes instantly makes you lose a life and has you restart at your last checkpoint or at the beginning of the level. Touching any enemies will kill you instantly, as well as with one of the worst of them being an exploding blue worm that has a pretty big blast radius. Now, along with the hazards in this game, you actually get some power-ups that help you along your mountain climb. You can switch between different power-up forms like the Flag Seed and the Thorn Seed forms. The Flag Seed form sets checkpoints over little circle panels on the field. On the opposite end, the Thorn Seed power-up adds Thorn Seer Seed whenever you pass over one of these circle panels, giving you a defense shield against enemies. This is just a handful of the power-ups that are available to you, but there's about 30 available that you can earn throughout the trials. Trials are these little portals on the mountain that teleport you to a location where 2 power-ups are available. You have the option of choosing either one of those powers and then having to complete a mini trial or a little competition in order to keep that power. Using the different combinations of powers throughout the different sections of the mountain will help you navigate the terrain better. The power-ups add a layer of strategy to the game, especially when it comes to the resources. You see, you can't just use power-ups at free will, they use up crystals or resources. Crystals are earned by passing over the circle surfaces I mentioned earlier, so in order to accurately use a power, one would need to collect a crystal by going over 3 of the circle surfaces I mentioned earlier and then activating a 4th circle with their power-up and the earned crystal. The entire mountain range is split into 5 parts with different terrains and different obstacles. With the clever use of power-ups, it's up to you to plant your TumbleSeed at the very top of the mountain. The other game mode available besides the adventure mode is the daily challenge. This is basically a daily speedrun of the game that uploads your score to the online leaderboard. Here the board tallies up your distance and how long you've played this specific trial run, and it displays it on a board where you can compare your score against your friends and other players online. Being that TumbleSeed is pretty much focused on getting high scores, the game mode feels right at home with the game. I'm usually not the one to compete for high scores, but even I found myself trying to compete against other reviewers' time scores, although I'm pretty sure those are going to be shattered by the time this game goes public to the rest of you guys. I do have to commend this game for its visuals and music though. Quite honestly, you can just not play the game and turn on the level and then sit back and relax and listen to the soundtrack of the game. It's incredibly relaxing and soothing. It just works really well with this type of game. Somehow listening to really chill music while focusing closely to the gameplay just works. As for the visuals, I'm a really big fan of it. It looks very vibrant in color, and it sort of reminds me of the vibes I got from Patapon on PSP, or this really old mobile game I used to play called On the Wind. Aesthetically speaking, with the visuals and the music though, this game is just a complete joy. It's a very happy feeling game, if you could describe it like that. For those of you wondering how it plays in the handheld mode on the Nintendo Switch, it plays absolutely well. But a game like this that requires focus and attention is probably not the best game to play on a trip if you're just going to be pausing it every so often. I feel like this game is something you have to sit down and play for a very long time, or at least a long period of time, because you really do want to focus on each little gameplay section. Sadly, there isn't any save states in the gameplay, so you can't save where you are on the mountain and then just quit the game and come back to it later. Technically, you could just put your console in rest or sleep mode if you're playing this on the Switch or PS4, but you pretty much are stuck within that application. You can't quit the application and open up another game and then come back to where you were in the mountain previously. Overall, TumbleSeed is pretty straightforward. It's a high score driven game, but if that's not your cup of tea, you can take your time and play it slowly. I think the game is fun, and the controls may take a minute for you to get used to at first, but after 3 minutes I was able to pretty much get accustomed to them. TumbleSeed retails for $14.99 digitally on the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. I think this game is worth getting, but the $14.99 price tag may be a bit steep for some people, especially with the amount of content in this game. At $10, I think this game is definitely worth picking up and adding to your library, but at $15, unless you're staggering for a brand new game, then you can probably just wait on the deal for this one. And that's my review of TumbleSeed for the Nintendo Switch, PS4, and PC. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section below, or hit me up on Twitter at Luis_GVN. Thank you all very much for watching, hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next one.